I got one, thank you.
The other way.
Oh, I need both.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll sit by my worship partner.
So you didn't get one big deal?
I did not, sir.
So Kenley, we want everyone to stand right there. Is this where this is filming at right here?
I should have Brandon's all important.
Yeah, I think we're good, Brandon.
We're ready, Kim.
One of these two. I know Edgar and them, they never got one, so I'm gonna give him one of these.
All right, thanks everyone for being here. I guess we'll start off. Kenley, can you open us with a word of prayer?
Had the video playing in the background. Let us pray together. Heavenly Father, we ask that you be with us. We ask that your Spirit be among us as we talk about the business of this group of believers. We ask that we can rejoice and see the joy of what you have had us do this last year, these labors that you have put on our hearts, as well as let us plan for the future. In Jesus' name, amen.
So we'll move on to last year's minutes. Robin.
Brandon and I agreed, instead of typing it out and making copies for everybody, I'll just go over them really quick. The meeting was held January 16th, 2022. Kenley opened the meeting with prayer. 26 members were present for the meeting. Pastor Kenley reported on activities that took place at Trinity over the last year, and there was a copy that was distributed of everything we had done. Minutes from the 2021 annual meeting were read by President Robin DeWater, and a motion was made by Susie and seconded by Roy to approve the minutes. Treasurer Don DeLauder presented the budget for the coming year. The 2022 budget will be easily met, he said, if the offering continues to be the same as it has been. A motion was made by Gary Klein and seconded by Karen Lanker to approve the budget. Paula Frazier, this is not the right minute.
That's the year before.
It's said
I
20.
have the 2023 one. Have to save the day. Forget everything I just said.
I just realized what we had.
I just realized this says 2022 and then Karen was here. She wasn't here last year.
That's what I was thinking. That just went.
It's just a 2-year in review, that's all.
Take two.
2 years ago, and that's why there's only one page, it was snowing like crazy. Do you remember? And everybody was like, cut this meeting short, we're leaving. And everybody left. So these are a little bit longer. Sorry, everybody. Annual meeting of January 15th, 2023. Consistory President Robin greeted the congregation at 12:11. Kenley opened the meeting with prayer. Presented the annual meeting minutes from before. They were approved. Don recapped the 2022 financial business highlights. 2022 average weekly attendance was 46 people. Average weekly tithing was $1,601.60. General fund had an ending balance of $42,133 with a checking account balance of $43,795. 2022 actual income was $91,693 versus $89,000 budgeted. And then presented the 2023 budget. It was a budget of $92,344, and we were expecting increased tithing at that time. It was noted that the church has 38 separate tithing families or individual units. In order to carry the entire budget out of the offering plate and not have to supplement from the general fund, an average increased give of $3 per week would more than cover removing that money from savings. Brief question and answer period. Bren moved to approve. Susie seconded that we approve the budget, and the motion passed. Don Delato reported on investments, scholarships, and memorials as compiled by Cindy and Gary. Investments were down 14 to 17% from January 2022 due to market volatility and recession pressures. All accounts are in solid funds that should rebound favorably when financial markets improve. A value and description was given for each trustee fund. Scholarship at that time was $171,622. Reverend Heist Fund was $53,999. Parsonage Fund was $52,520. The Nash Fund was $57,839. 2 scholarship checks had been written for a total of $3,261. It was noted that we may have 4 scholarship candidates in 2023. As of December, the scholarship checking account balance was $3,366. The Memorial Fund checking account balance was $675, and the Memorial Savings account balance was $2,216. Moved on to pastor's report. Kinley reported he had made 255 home visits throughout the year. Online viewings were up to 176, which was considerably more than the past year. All the ministries met with their projected goals for 2022. Kinley gave a report on our shut-ins. Basically, everyone's doing well and everyone enjoys the online sermons. Children's Church was off to a great start. 2023 ministry goals are finalized. Liaison committee was formed to meet with Timberville Church of the Brethren to discuss doing joint community projects. A meeting will begin in February. Don Delato, Abby McGillivray, and Gary Klein will represent the church. Kinley addressed 3 questions to each ministry that needed to be considered. Number 1, when did we see our congregation at its best? Number 2, what impact do we make in people's lives? And number 3, where do we find a growing edge or a challenge in our ministries? Ministry reports were next, with worship and music reported by Pastor Kinley. He reviewed past sermon series from 2022 and noted some of the new things that we incorporated into our worship, like Ash Wednesday service with foot washing. He also mentioned some Easter sermon ideas centered on the accession. Discussed ideas for guest speakers or special music. Anyone with suggestions, please contact him. Education ministry was reported by Susie Short. How do we see our congregation at its best? Through our Bible school with good community participation and great participation and help from church ministries. What impact do we make in people's lives? Susie reported reaching out and enriching all the children attending. Where do we find a challenge? Trying to find more kids to come to church. Positive highlights for 2022 reported by Susie were Adult Sunday School, Journaling Sunday School class, Parish Nurse Health Challenge for congregation, and Wednesday night Bible study. Outreach and Inreach was reported by Paula Frazier and Kathy Frable. How do we see our congregation at its best? When folks engage and help carry out ministry activities. Some examples were people volunteering to help bake for a month, or people participating in making barbecue sandwiches for sale to raise money for the Compassion Fund. What impact did we make? Our goal is to enrich someone's life with the act of giving and kindness. What was the biggest challenge? Continue to focus on trying to find people to serve. 2022 highlights included bake and take for Kinley visitations and shut-in visits, college student goodie bags, cards sent to shut-ins, Christmas caroling to shut-ins, the blessing box, love offerings from the Compassion Fund, fundraisers for Compassion Fund, for example, the barbecue sandwich sale, updated visitor welcome bags, appreciation totes of goodies for first responders, and establishing a strong social media coverage with local newspapers, for example, advertising Bible school. Bake and Take was reported by Kathy Frable. 2022 was blessed with many bakers who helped us stay in supply for Kinley's visitations. 2023 really needs more bakers to take a month or be willing to fill in when needed. Anyone willing, please contact Kathy. Fellowship was reported by me, Robin DeLauder. 2022 highlights were the chili cook-off, pie making with John Harper, which was a ladies' event, and a Christian concert at the fairgrounds, which was another ladies' event. Java for Jesus is a popular room to mingle with church members or guests, and it helps people get out of their pew seats and talk to others. Another great way to meet people is to sign up to be a greeter at the front door. New things for 2023 were February as a Friendship Month, themed Sunday events after church to include everybody's birthday, Super Bowl Sunday, Italian bistro lunch, and making donuts. Upcoming ladies event of tea at Kim's house, game nights, and sunrise service with breakfast following for Easter. There was no old business to discuss. New business. Pastor Kinley expressed interest in finding someone to volunteer to be the church photo librarian, photographer, and event archivist. After discussion, Abby volunteered to take on this position. Robin presented the slate of new consistory members for the 2-year term starting in 2023. The 3 candidates are Jeremy Harper, Abby McGillivray, and Alice Baker. She asked if there were any other nominations from the floor to be considered. Robert Frazier made the motion to close the nominations and vote for the slate of candidates. Willie Short seconded and the motion passed. Don DeLauder pointed out that the church bylaws require every 10 years that the trustees must be reappointed, and that should be done at the annual meeting. Don DeLauder, Gary Klein, and Susie Short are the trustees to be reappointed. Roy Dean made the motion to reappoint. It was seconded by Cindy, and the motion passed. Don DeLauder reported since the recent passing of trustee Wanda Welp, there are some changes in bank account signature cards that need to be done for certain trustee accounts. These 3 changes need to be made and ratified by the congregation. The main savings account, remove the name of Virginia King and add Susie Short. Memorial account, remove the name Wanda Wilt and add Susie Short. Scholarship account, remove the name Wanda Wilt and add Amy Simmers. After discussion, Don DeLauder made the motion to approve the slate of changes. John Harper seconded. The motion passed, and the meeting was adjourned at 1:06. I'm sorry that was really long. If I had known it was 4 pages, I probably would have printed it out for everybody, but I thought it was 1 page, so sorry about that.
I would say this year, though, if you have your report printed up, we can just give it to Kathy, and Kathy can say, see attached, see attached, see attached. So you don't have to write all that stuff down. So if you're giving a report and you have it typed up, give it to Kathy so she can save her hand cramp.
Okay, then, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, everybody in favor? Opposed? All right, passed, so then we'll move on to Kinley's report.
Just some highlights from this year. We had some new members join us this year. We had Rose and Ed, and Judy joined this year. And then we had baptism. We had Ronnie Price and Don DeLauder and Judy Smith were baptized. As far as some of the visits and stuff, I did 274 visits this year. So that's up from 225 last year. So I'm getting out there and seeing a lot of people. I guess the second half of the year, I was focusing more in on my shut-ins, making sure that I was almost seeing them every other week. And so I will try to continue to do that. Our online presence, we had 1,455 online views this last year, which is up 28% from the year before. So basically about another 20 views per month. And this last month of December, we had 190 views. So it was a lot. Other notes that we had a ministry celebration where we talked about what we were doing in our ministries and tried to refocus and discuss what to do in this upcoming year. And hopefully hopefully we'll be hearing some of that when we have our ministry reports, what's coming up in the upcoming year. Our ministry is continuing to make goals and to see how we can move forward. And our goal is to have everyone a part of at least one ministry within the church. And as always, I reflect back on how we look at our ministries: worship, education, outreach, and fellowship. And the scripture that goes along with that is Acts 2, verses 42 through 47, which says to us, they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, to the breaking of bread and prayer. Everyone was filled with awe as many wonders and signs performed by the apostles. All the believers were together, and they had everything in common. They sold their property and possessions to give to anyone who had need, and every day they continued to meet together in the temple's court. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favor of all the people. And the Lord added to their numbers daily those who have been saved. Any questions about what I did this last year or anything like that from you guys?
We appreciate you.
Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate y'all being here for this meeting too. I'm going to show a couple slides, and then I'll let you know which one of you are going to do the worship. Once I show a couple slides, and then you'll come up. So these are a couple of the themes of the sermon series that we did this last year. And our guest speakers. And we did bells, and hopefully some of you still remember that. Bless 3 people every week, eat with 3 different people every week, listen, spend some time learning and being sent, that you are God's people sent into the world. Here's a picture of some new members and me dunking the Lord. But I'll turn it over to Donna for her to share about worship.
Friend said I could take the turn to speak today, but I'm speaking for both of us together. The worship committee has been in charge of our music and worship. Bren is going off consistory, she said, but she's going to continue working with me getting special music. First I want to say about the service music, I feel like we really have a good balance. We really take into account people's views, opinions, requests for certain songs or hymns. So I feel like we've got such a good balance of the old hymns of the faith and contemporary hymns, songs that we do at the end. I feel like that's a good combination. Not everyone likes all of it, but I think for most people it really serves, and it serves different groups of our congregation. I might have said this before, but when I'm up front for the last song, some people don't know it, a few people don't sing at all, a few people really know it, and then the majority sing along. And either we're learning it, often I don't know the piece, or we're learning it together, or we're worshiping, and I see a lot of young people that are singing, and it's really uplifting to see that we're doing both styles of music, or all different styles, worshipful styles. That's the whole goal, that it's worshipful. Bren said she'll continue working with special music. We have a lot of people that are willing to come for special music. We keep a list. We decided that we will choose believers, and people, of course we don't question them, but people that are believers and active Christians, and they come and share their music. If you have any suggestions for anybody that would like to come, of course, please let us know. We've had several lately, people saying either I would like to come and sing, or I know somebody who plays, and so we've got just a really good selection. We certainly want to use everybody in our congregation that wants to perform, share their music, and then we have a lot of people outside our congregation. Choir is going great. I feel like we really have dedicated people that love to sing. If you know anybody else, or you feel like joining in, or just coming to rehearse, everyone's welcome at any time. And then Java for Jesus. That's going really well. I feel like that's part of our worship, that we can bring people in. People have just signed up for it. We have a good list. The list is in the back that we keep on a clipboard. And we just have it covered every week, so we really appreciate that. Is that everything, Bryn? Okay, thank you.
I will add just a couple things. Just a reminder, if you want to help greet, we will have worship leaders starting in February. I have a list of about 8 names, 8 to 10 names that will be leading worship up front. And then if you know anybody that you would like to have come and give their testimony, please let me know. We would like to make sure that we can make that happen too. Education. I think I have some pictures here from this last year while Susie's coming up.
Okay, so I should give the list, and she says I've covered everything, but if I missed something, let me know. Kimberly asked us for highlights, challenges, and what we're looking forward to. I feel like a highlight is that we have 3 Sunday school classes going, and consistent participation. They might not have a lot of people in each one, but the same ones come and come consistently. Kim had added the 3rd class, the Bible study focused on healthy food and nutrition, and I think that was pretty well attended. We had a very successful Bible school as a joint effort with the Timberville Church of the Brethren, and we're, I think, planning on doing that again. One thing we had to do was develop a child safety policy to comply with the new insurance requirements, and we worked on that and with the consistory figured that out. And we have Bible study that has continued and been a good ministry. I guess the challenge is always children, but one of the challenges that we've been working on is, in accordance with the child safety policy, we have to have background checks, and for anyone that's going to be working with children. And we're kind of struggling with how to have that all managed, and we're going in the right direction. We met last week, and I talked about with our ministry about the company that we are going to be using, and Tracy and Eddie Long recommended them. They do their Rotary background checks. So we have that in the process, in the works, and we'll have more on that later. And another challenge is setting up Children's Church and Children's Story to have a schedule that draws in more adults and more grown-ups, and to be able to spread the joy of the kiddos and not one person having to, not the same people having to do it all the time. So we're looking for, that's a thing that we're looking forward to. Kinley had emailed us, put it in the email, but we're going to try a new combination model for the Children's Church and Children's Story. And so 2 Sundays of the month we'll go downstairs and have a lesson with them downstairs, and 2 Sundays of the month it will be a story up here. And I might not be telling this right, but I think it's the 1st and 3rd would be downstairs church for them, and the 2nd and 4th week would be a story up here. And so we're looking forward to that, and I hear that there's some good storytellers that might not feel comfortable going downstairs with everybody, but can bless us with storytelling up here. And I'm looking forward to that. Kim and Kathy's new class is something we're looking forward to. And like I said, I believe we're doing Bible school again, and we already have the theme and lots of the materials, so that's kind of exciting. And we just need to coordinate with the Brethren Church as far as when and where and all of those details. Another thing to look forward to, we have talked a little bit, and we're going to be brainstorming and kind of thinking about additional activities that the educational ministry can do to provide some activities for the kids and the youth. So if you guys have any suggestions, there's evening activities or Saturday afternoon activities or Sunday afternoon activities that we can, build on what we were already doing with the youth and the kids. Let us know. And that's it. Did I cover everything?
So I'll invite fellowship up. I think I have pictures. This is the fellowship month and the tea party and homecoming this year and the fall festival party, the fall harvest party. And
So looking back over last year, what we did mainly really well was feed people. And we pay for the annual meeting and the summer picnic and homecoming and all the other meals we come together to prepare them. We did 4 Sundays in a row of friendship meals in February. And I looked back at my notes. The first one was Italian, I think. I think we did Italian, we did spaghetti, the first one. We had 70 people at church that Sunday, and 60 people ate lunch. 60 people stayed and ate lunch, and like 58 of those played bingo. So the reason I'm saying that, you'll see later, because we're going to try to do more fellowship meals. And we hosted Mother's Day and Father's Day celebrations, both with breakfast. We assisted with the first responder lunch, and we coordinated meals with Timberville Church of the Brethren for Easter and for Thanksgiving. We provided snacks for the Shenandoah Association meeting that was held here at the church. We also helped get snacks for the Bible school in the summer. And then for ladies' events, we try to do something every quarter, but we only had 3 events this year. We did have the tea party at Kim and Roy's. We had the felting craft here, which Bryn set up for us, felting and lunch. And then we had the Christmas ornament exchange and snacks in December. We still do the schedule for Java for Jesus, and Donna's taken over approaching people for that. So thank you, Donna, for doing that. The plans for 2024 continue Java for Jesus, and we're going to do a monthly fellowship meal with a theme each month. And I worked out a schedule which I gave to some people, and I'll be getting more information out about it. It's going to be pretty much the whole entire year the second Sunday, so that way you can start to invite family, let people know it's going to be the second Sunday. That's when we're always going to have a meal. The next one's in February. That's right after the Super Bowl, so we're going to do Super Bowl Sunday again. And I think I'm going to start doing a sign-up list, because Susie and I were laughing. At homecoming, we had like 6 pots of green beans, and today we had none, but we had like 3 pots of mac and cheese. So I'll start doing a sign-up list for every meal so that we don't have so much of the same things. And I think we need to be more, we need to get regular scheduled meetings, which Kinley has mentioned before. I think it's too much to meet every month. So I was going to talk to our ministry about going forward, meeting every other month and picking a date, like say it's going to be the second Tuesday of the month, first Tuesday of the month, or something like that, picking a date. That way Kinley can announce it and more people can maybe participate. And I think that's it. Continue the women's group too, and try to find activities we can do together or things we can learn together. Okay, anybody have any questions?
The fellowship meals, those will be carry-in meals, correct? So it will not be you providing the meat. The meat will be still just for homecoming and annual meeting, correct?
Homecoming, annual meeting, and the annual picnic.
Okay.
And like Super Bowl Sunday, which we did last year, we did soup, and we had about 60 people stay for that meal, and we had six crock pots and different soups. So I'll make a list and I'll have it here next Sunday so people can sign up. And then one of the suggestions that came out of the ministry, what did you call that? The ministry celebration?
Yep.
One thing that came out of the ministry celebration is someone wanted us to do some special kind of things like some different kind of celebrations, like celebrating grandparents and maybe trying to get grandparents to bring their kids and grandkids to church. And so we're going to add a couple of those things later in the year. And we're going to do the fruit baskets for the elderly or shut-ins or whatever. So some of those things will fall in there too. Okay, thanks.
All right, so the outreach, inreach ministry.
Some of the outreach activities for 2023, and some of these may be repeats because fellowship and outreach are so much alike, and we ended up partnering with each other, but just a few items are kind of duplicates. But we, first of all, Trinity partnered with the Rockingham Lunch and Rewington Club to make and sell pork barbecue sandwiches in 2023. And all proceeds were submitted to the Abundance Fund. We partnered, of course, with the Timberville Brethren Church for Easter Sunrise service and Thanksgiving service. We initiated Loads of Love ministry at the local Timberville laundromat. This ministry has served 40 families by the end of December 2023, and this will continue in 2024. The Relay for Life event was spearheaded by Kathy Frable. It was very successful. We prepared care packages for 7 college students, and that was spearheaded by Fonda Weaver. I'll just say Java for Jesus was initiated in 2020 by the Outreach Committee, and it gives me great joy that it's continuing in that capacity. So thanks to all who contribute to that, because I do think it's a very, very important ministry for our church. Visitor bags and welcome packages are readily available to guests. Meal links for members with health issues, sympathy, etc. The blessing box continues to serve the community. Cards are sent to members for birthdays, illness, sympathy, etc. The Bake and Take ministry for Kinley's visits are continuing. We prepared care packages for college students, and that was spearheaded by Fonda Weaver, and this will continue in 2024. In addition to those 2023 activities, these new activities have been added for 2024. And I guess the highlight of that is the fact that we have combined fellowship and outreach committees to allow for more member participation. And that has gone very well, because we can bounce ideas off of many, many people instead of just 1 or 2 of us taking that initiative. Again, we're going to be having pork barbecue sandwiches sales, and that's going to begin on February 18th of this year. And sandwiches will be made at the Broadway Rescue Squad on February 25th. And I have the order forms with me today that I'd like to give each one of you one, because that's a great fundraiser for our outreach committee. We're going to continue partnerships with the Timberville Church of the Brethren. And trash pickup was organized by our college students around the Timberville and Broadway, and other outreach and inreach service projects that they are considering are our community place, Open Doors, which is a homeless population, helping church members with yard work and house tours. We continually place that ad in the Daily News Record for Trinity UCC Timberville Years of Service, and that should be coming out pretty soon in the paper, so look for that.
How many years is it?
I knew somebody was going to ask me. Do you remember, Robert?
1883.
It was 1883.
What's the say on the stone out front? I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Either
in
83 or 87.
I think it's in the 80s or 90s. Yeah, we're not the oldest, but we're up there in that rank of being the oldest. You'll see it in the newspaper. So
140 years.
140 years?
That looks like it.
I thought it was 80. Okay. The Blue Ridge Area Food Bank that we're going to be serving in that Timberville mobile food truck. to help distribute food supplies. So I think I've covered them all. Thanks for everyone who participates. And again, I'll be probably in the back as you go out. You can get those barbecue sign-ups for our church.
Yes, this is mine.
Yeah, you can share with us what we did with the abundance fund.
I have my little note card here. Okay, you'll see in the budget in a little bit how much we spent out of the abundance fund, but this year we spent $1,384.03 out of the abundance money I've given. It went to, we assisted one citizen or local person with water bill. We did a plumbing repair for one of our members. We assisted one of our members with car repairs. We gave money to Alfonso Alvarado for his church. We assisted with the national conference. We did paid for the backpack program, and I think that was $400, if I remember right, towards the backpack program. And we did the Christmas bags, fruit baskets, and so forth. So that's where. So that's $1,384.03 that, you know, people who have a little bit extra, have a little bit of abundance, give, and that's where it goes to. So thank you very much. Any question on that one? Am I saying it up here?
Yep.
Oh, property? Okay, that's the other side of the card. Okay, property. It was a fairly busy property year. The main thing we did was we got the ramp put in. And it's fabulous as far as even snow blowing. You just drive on down the thing, blow it off, and come right back. We put the nursery together in the back. We got the plumbing nightmare downstairs fixed, which has been there for a while. That's all fixed up. We had a smoke detectors to the church. Our water softener gave out, and Gary got with Fred, and Fred got our water softener fixed. Thank Robert and Paula for all the mulching and take care of, where are they at here? Oh, for taking care of the mulching and the beautification outside. And Susie for the flowers. She's always here watering those flowers for us. So that's what we got for property. Next year we got a busy year. I've talked to Ed a little bit, and Robert and Gary and whoever else wants help. We started the lighting downstairs. If you notice, we actually have lights where there weren't no lights before. We got to replace all the ones, replace them with LEDs, getting rid of all the ballast. And it was kind of interesting. I was texting Robert back and forth about, we were talking about usage, but I got to looking into it. And right now we have the lights on, it uses like 2,400 watts, and we go LED, it'll use 800. You know, I mean, it's not going to save a ton of money, but it's definitely, it's less money you have to spend.
Better lighting.
What's that? Yeah, it's a lot
better lighting.
It's a lot better lighting. We got to get the bathroom fixed in here, the toilet. We got ceiling tiles repair. We got exterior lighting to get done. We got handicap or disabled parking out there for people because people who need it, they're filling up before they get here. So we're going to label that for that. We have some new thermostats to add. We got some exterior painting to be done. Gary knows about that. And then the normal church mowing and mulching and flowers. So if you're somebody who's handy in those ways, and I know a bunch of you are, I'll be calling you. And you can help me out, or I can help you, or however it works out, whoever has the talent. That's all I got.
There's a picture of what it used to look like now.
It's a heck of a difference.
And the nursery, we're hoping that we'll get River in there soon, and maybe even Debbie Evans' grandbaby too. All right, investments.
Gary handed me that. Do you have it there? Okay. Well, basically, I don't know if everyone knows, and I think you're kind of aware, we have 4 different funds we're invested in. We have the Nash General Fund, which goes to help make up any shortfalls in our budget. We have the Parsonage Fund, which goes to, fixing up the church. That's where the money came for the ramp. We have the Scholarships Fund, which everyone knows where that goes. And we have the Reverend Heist Fund, which goes to, if someone in church needs money, they're in an accident, they need someone to fire, something happens and someone in church needs money, that's what we pull it from. Well, just to give everyone has this report from Gary, I think. But if you look at that, you'll notice that in 2022 we had $276,996 in there, and into 2023 we had $304,000. So it went up that much, and the fact is we took $7,500 to pay for 4 scholarships. We took $10,800 out to pay for the improvements we've done. So even with the money we've removed, we're still up significantly from this time last year. And the investments are realizing roughly 15 to 16% return. And that, now, if we would have had this meeting 3 months ago, we weren't smiling as much. And now, 3 months later, we can smile because it hasn't done a turnaround. But, you know, I went back and looked at this. I was trying to find some information for the scholarship funds. And the State of Partridge Fund, that started out at $30,000 many years ago, and it's done things like paint the church, paint the roof. We've done a lot with that $30,000, and now today it's still at $41,000 after taking $10,000 out. So we're blessed to have that money that was, you know, given by different members of the church. And you'll see in Gary's report, like I said, we have $304,000 in there. You can see the checking account balances, and we have a savings account balance at $2,216 in their memorial funds. Any questions on the investments? Now, there's one thing I wanted to, I got a contact, or Kimberly got a contact from Ella Nash, who is Francis Nash's daughter. And if you look around, you'll see things that were donated. They were very, very generous and invested in her church. And the Nash General Fund and the Scholarship Fund came from investments they made. But if you notice, in our scholarship fund, we have $155,000 in that. That fund in 1999 started out at $74,100, and now it's $155,000. And if I go through here and look, during that time, we've distributed almost $46,000, and we've helped 17 students with their college education. And so we've distributed all that money, and it still holds a value of twice as much as she gave it. So that's definitely a blessing. So that's what I have for investments. Any questions on the investments? Now the budget. Okay, let's see if I have anything on here. Okay, I don't know if everyone should have a copy of the budget. It's up here also. Where's your pointer? Right here. Oh, okay. Right there? Cool.
One click, baby.
Look at that. If you'll notice, if we were having a conversation in September, August, we were looking to be about $10,000 shy of our budget. But we had an amazing December and November. And it's thanks to just people who are part of the church, have a relationship with the church, who stepped up and gave a fair amount of money in the last 12 months. So everybody knows who they are. Everyone knows, you know, if you have an idea who they are, please thank them. But that turned us from being maybe a $10,000 shortfall to having about $2,600 more than we planned on. And we were planning on pulling $6,000 out of savings. We ended up pulling $562 out at the end of the year. We ended an amazing year. Now the thing is, and we'll talk about this a little bit today, since I'm the treasurer, I got the church side of it, and then I have to kind of have the business side of it. You know, as things go, we're going to talk about, you know, people deserve raises, people's salaries change, things get more expensive. As things get more expensive, we need to get that money somewhere, and fortunately, or how it is, the money comes from us. So it comes from us increasing tithing, or increasing membership, increasing that sort of thing. So, you know, it's always a tough thing having a number talk with church, because you know, it's just the fact of the matter, things have to go. But if you look at what we got, why don't we go down to our expenditures first? How do I move this thing, Kelly? Just left and right arrow? Yeah. Okay, if you look at what we're proposing is Kinley and Donna and Lauren. For some reason, I do apologize, we skipped giving them increases last year. I don't know what happened. We just missed it. We just didn't give any raises last year. So we're looking at increasing all of them by 10% this year, which makes up for last year and this year. So you can see we're including additional monies for their pay. Scrolling down, which increases their salaries, of course, and then the Social Security taxes. The rest of the stuff like gas, electric, sewer, internet, all that stayed fairly close to where it should be. You'll notice this here went up about, I don't know what that is, $3,700 or so. We voted last year to spend $15,000 of the property fund to fix this up in church. We still have stuff to fix. The items I talked about there, the electrical issues and things. That's still there to be spent, and whatever we spend, we'll pull it out at the end of the year. Keep on going here. We have insurance. Now you'll notice our insurance is down by about $1,000. We changed to that new Goodwill Insurance, which is is it Mennonite based? Is that? It's a church-based group. I read the history of it. It's been around for a very long time. And we get better coverage for roughly 25% less. What they do is insure churches to understand that the needs churches have. So we save a little bit of money there. You go on down here, and we have all the normal stuff here. You'll notice this one dropped by $10,000 because we had $10,800 worth of improvements, and now we just have the basic stuff that we have every year with bookkeeping and things like that. You look right here. In 2021, we had $50,000 in our checking account. We had $49,000 the following year. We have $43,700, and we have $43,200. So we've done very well in the last couple of years. So go back to the top. To pay for, our budget's went from $99,000. Excuse me. The actual budget was $99,000. The actual amount was $99,000. The budget had a budget of $103,000, and this year's budget is going to be a little shy of $102,000. Basically, what happened last year, we brought in $2,000 more than we anticipated. We spent $3,000 less than we would, which only made us have to transfer $500 into it. I hope I'm explaining it well. I got it all in here. It's just sometimes hard getting out of there, all those numbers. So honestly, and then we're looking at taking to make even this much budget, make this budget work at a average income of $1,650. We ended the year with like $1,620 a week. I'll put it down. Let's shoot for $1,650 a week. Even with that, we're still going to have to bring $8,000 out of our savings or out of our investments, which we have. But I think to make something like a number like this work without the big investments we had in the end, we're going to be about 10% off. Which means if you're someone who gives $20 a week, can you find $2 more to give? If you're someone who gives $50, can you find $5 more to give? We're not far from where we have to be. Or if we have 20 families, can you find 2 more families? It's just a little bit we have to do. So if people have the ability to tweak their offering a little bit, everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. Any questions? I mean, I thank everybody. We have some very, very generous people in our church and people who are associated with the church. Makes it very easy. I would never have thought 6-7 years ago that we'd have a full-time pastor. Because we are a small church to have a full-time pastor, but we're doing good. We need to treat our pastor right. He treats us right.
Yes, he does.
And we just have to, if you have a couple dollars extra a week, you can give a couple dollars extra. If you miss church, make sure you lay that little bit aside to give when you come back. You know what I mean? Because I got to pay him if you show up or not. It's just the way it is. He gets paid if you show up or not. So remember that. Now, if I could skip it if you don't show up, that'd be a little bit different. But he's still expecting a paycheck. Any questions? Is it's a rather simple budget, I guess.
Great job, we're done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great job.
Will you just talk a little bit about how the ministry's money's changed?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that too.
That's on the last slide, so.
The last slide, but also in the, let me see if I can see where it is. On the budget, let's see, here it is, ministry fundraiser. 22, we decided in consistory with representatives from the ministry that instead of us, one way we could help the church with the budget is not use your weekly offering towards the ministries. We decided we're going to raise that money some other way. And Kathy started it out with the silent auction. So far, out of our $22.50 required to do our outreach, in-reach, education and all, we've already raised $1,000 of that. Yes.
So we're already talking about a fundraiser in February. Kathy has an idea for, and then our ministry is going to host a spring yard sale, Mother's Day weekend, and then we're going to talk about maybe a fall fundraiser like a craft bazaar. So we have a couple of things we're working
And I
on to
think we
get that.
might have the barbecue sandwich sale. So if we do great, we'll bring in far more than we need for ministries, and it'll be helpful. And then it's just a good thing. It's just a good thing that we can sit down, brainstorm, and come up with ways to help the church out. And what were we talking about? Something?
Go on down. One more. So that you can just say how worship is what they have budgeted this year compared to last year and so forth.
Well, if you look at it, we come very close on just about every line item. Worship ministry spent $492, and we're sticking with the $500. Fellowship ministry, even with feeding everybody, we still had $1.21 left over. That's not bad. Outreach is $204, and I think we'll be closer to $500 this year because we're doing loads of love, and it's going to be coming out of that. So we'll be using that on there. Education was $592 against a $1,200 budget. We kept it at $750 this year. And it's just that's what we think we can get it done with. We didn't need as much for the Bible study. And you can see here's that $1,384 I talked about that we put out for the Compassion Fund, and we're looking at bringing in $1,500 and bring $1,500 out. We get $1,500 in and $1,500 out. Any questions? If you got some ideas on property or what needs to be fixed, or what needs to be changed, just let us know. We'll get it taken care of. So I guess with that said, we need a motion to approve.
The budget.
Huh?
The budget.
Yeah, approve the budget. Okay, motion second. Can I do it?
Go ahead. You already started. So.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Okay, thank y'all. We have more in here, Ken?
This is where we're at. We branded now.
Yeah, I'm getting out of the way.
Yes.
That's my slide.
That's the last slide. But then you'll have whatever.
I guess one thing is there any old business? All right, I guess we'll move on to new business then. So we'll start off with new consistory members. It's let's see who off. Robin's going off, right?
Robin
And Bryn and Mom. Right, and then somebody filling in for the rest of Abby's term. So far we have Rose has said she'd fill in for the rest of Abby's term. And then my dad, Roy Dean's going to be going on, and then Paul Frazier said she would go on. Am I missing?
And Cindy.
Cindy. All right, is there anybody else or any further discussion? Or?
Guess you got to have some nominations from the floor. But
Yeah, any nominations from the floor for anybody? Or? All right, well, in that case, do I have a motion to approve the new consistory members?
Second.
Second. All right, everybody in favor?
aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, so that's passed. Does anybody else have any new business? All right, if not, then so all the consistory members will have a quick 5-minute meeting afterwards, and then I guess Kenley, do you want to finish us off with a prayer?
Sure. Heavenly Father, we thank you again for this group of people. Thank you for how you are faithful to us and continue to allow us to be faithful to you. We ask that you bless this group of believers so that we can bless each other, but more important, bless the community around us as we serve you. In Jesus' name, amen.
I guess we'll just meet up here.